Welcome back to Realize Displays training. In this video, this might be one of the most important videos to watch to save you time and make your digital displays look great. Today we're going to be going through how to use shared backgrounds as templates and also using the Ticker or the My Data app within the designer. So first what we are going to do is add a blank page. And we're just going to call this maybe Realize Template. How templates work is essentially it is a layered page in the background of another page. So what you have here is, if you notice all the other pages we have created, they go from one complete full screen of different content to the other. But what if we want a crawler or other information to stay on the screen and only change maybe one part of a zone to essentially give a multi-zone effect while other things stay constant on the screen? So we need to find some way to add that continuity, and shared backgrounds are the way. So first what we are going to do is make essentially a blank or somewhat blank template that will sit behind other content that we put on top of it. I'm going to create a brand new blank page, and we're going to go in and edit it right into our designer. The great thing about shared backgrounds and templates is they are very easy. There literally is no difference between how they operate, since they are a regular page just like any other one. We're going to go ahead and drop in a header up here. Actually, let's make this a full background, just with a color, nice dark color. We're going to add in some other elements on top. And I'll come back when this is fully finished. Okay, so now you see that we have all of our elements created into what looks like a nice template. So there's no actual content in here. All I've done is I've dropped a logo in, and then each of these items are a mixture of either the box or the line item with just some regular text items, and a picture item of our logo that will look like a watermark by increasing the transparency. And then at the bottom, I'm going to make this area a crawler for our either custom crawler or even a newsfeed. So what I would like to happen here is I would like our crawler to continue to crawl as messages change in the left large zone here. And then I also want our news and our events calendar to remain constant as well while the elements change. So really the only thing that's going to change is this large zone on the left. So whenever I create messages, all I will need to do is do a simple copy and paste, and I can just change this zone on the left. By the way, this is one of the most common zoned templates layouts to use, where you have content on the right side and on the bottom that's automated in about 1/3 of the total area. And then the left side is your large main zone. And then this is what most people will focus on as your primary messages. So let's add in a couple other apps in here. Let's drop in our Reuters newsfeed. If you'd like to go through how to customize these, you can check that out in another video. But for right now, I'm just going to drop the newsfeed in. First, we're going to select our country, select the Reuters newsfeed, change our text a little bit so we can see all of it. And let's keep it just like that. Next, let's drop in our app for our calendar so that we can show the events that are going on this week, because we want these things to stay on the screen at all times. And we'll select our demo events here. And size it nicely right there so it scrolls right into it. Great. Now on the top, let's go ahead and let's add the time and date. We'll pull it from Minneapolis. Remove our seconds. We'll make that nice and big. And then let's set it to the same text color as the background. So all we can do is simply copy and paste the HSV code. Now let's drop in our date. We'll make that just a little bigger as well. And then we'll also paste that same code so it's the exact same color. Great. So our template is now almost done. Now all we'll need to do is just drop in a crawler at the bottom. And then we are going to save this whole thing just as it is. So this is a nice blank spot where we can add content in later. We're going to spend a little time on this crawler because there's a couple neat things you can do with it. If I grab the My Data, that is your ticker or crawler or scroller, whatever you'd like to call it. And as soon as you drop it in, it will give you a 1920 wide by 42 high crawler that you can literally position right in here. Now, a lot of times what I will need to do is resize this to a little bit larger because sometimes when you save it as a template or as a shared background, it can cut it off a little bit. So what you can see right away, to use just a regular custom text crawler, it's very easy. It'll just show you the lines of text. You can type them in right here. And then you can click the refresh button, and then your text will eventually start to crawl across the bottom here. Pretty simple. The other thing you can do if you wanted to change, if you have a lot of text, instead of having everything typed into a new line, you can simply type them all into many lines and just put stars in between them to separate the messages that you would like to show. As it is right now, each line will have a little dot in between it. The other thing you can do with the data is you can change the style of it. So if I actually did not want this to be a crawler, and maybe I just wanted this to show in this zone on the right here, I can change it to a single message. Now, what this literally works, how this works actually is just a paragraph type format. As you type in the messages into the other lines, whenever this entire page is shown, it will then scroll to the next available message. So using the paragraph format is typically not a recommended way to use it to use the data app for a shared background. It's usually best when you change this to a ticker because it will actually continue to scroll then without needing to refresh its entire page to show the next message. Okay. Now there's one other cool thing you can do with this. If this is helpful to you, you can also connect your ticker to your Dropbox. Because if ever, while we're creating this template, anytime that you want to change your ticker, you're going to need to go into this background slide and change the text down here at the bottom. But the nice thing is every page that uses this template will automatically update whenever you change it. If you don't want to log in to do it, sometimes you can just connect your Dropbox file here. I've already connected my Dropbox account. And then you can put in a simple text file that you point to. So I've already gone ahead and added a text file into our training folder. Like here. So when I select the text file, the great thing about this is if I open up our training folder that I have on my desktop, you'll see I have my scroller text file. If I open it up, I can see I have two different lines of messages. Welcome to Realize Displays, and our clients are the most creative and effective digital communicators, which is absolutely true. So now all I have to do is simply refresh our sample text that is now pointing to our Dropbox file, and then eventually comes crawling our text inside of that text file. So the nice thing about this is if you were going to update your crawler often, you can always just go right into your text file without logging in and update that with new messages. And then eventually within a couple minutes, the display will see that there are new messages in that text file from Dropbox syncing with your online account. And then it will crawl them across your template. Very easy. So now what do we actually use this for? So now that we're done, let's just use this as our template. We have a nice big zone and we want to save and back. And then let's use this template by creating a couple of messages that will go there. I'm going to put these, I created a folder, I'm going to put these into our regular main messages folder. The most important thing that you need to remember for these backgrounds is you need to add a blank page. Let's call this one new staff member. And then we click into the edit button so that we can see our designer. And before we do anything, scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll notice there's a gear in the bottom left. If you click that, you'll see your page properties for the overall canvas. You can actually change the orientation as you've seen when we created our directory template. The other option is to change the background page. When you click change, it will open up your whole page catalog of every page you've created, along with your folder structure. So now if we go into our templates and select our Realize background template and use page, it will set the entire animated page that I created as the background for this current page. Now you'll notice as I click around, I can't actually edit any of those items because I'm not on that page. But what I can do is layer elements on top. So let's say I wanted to drop an image in of a person. Let's say this is a staff member. Add a little border to a person. And now we can drop in some text and just say, welcome to our team. I think his name is Jerry. We'll make this nice and big, center it right over our picture, highlight our text and set it to be white so that it can be seen across our background. And sure, maybe a little shadow too. Now, just like that, in a couple of seconds, I was able to use an entirely created template and only update our main zone. Now I can save and back. And let's go ahead and let's add another one. Let's use another blank page and let's drop in maybe one of our YouTube videos to give a simulation as the YouTube video is playing in that main zone. Click into our editor again, scroll down, use our gear in the bottom left, select the background page as the Realize template once again. And now all I want to do is open up our apps and drop in a YouTube video. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. We'll set our text to be white, centered right above the video. Click onto our video, and I will find the web address, which is right here. Copy it and paste it right in. And center it right over our zone. Now we can save and back once again and do this process maybe one more time, and let's show some live information like the weather. We'll add another blank page. Click into our zone, go through the same process of clicking on the gear in the bottom left, click change for our background page, select our realized template that we created once again, and now all I want to do is open up our apps and drop in the weather app. A fun thing to do for April Fool's Day is maybe set your weather to Hawaii. Okay, now let's change this to our daily forecast. We'll set maybe 3 days, and we'll make them nice and big. And then the one important thing too is as this is going, don't forget to set your animation. So a cool animation for the weather is to drop in and then have it start right when this page is shown. So let's go ahead and save and back. And once we're back into our main dashboard area, we're going to open up one of our playlists, and let's just drop in each of our shared background slides that we just created. Now we should be able to see continuity between all of them, which is the great thing, because as two slides share the same background, that background will continue to play. Now I'm not going to go through all of the playlist tools in this video. You can look for that in one of the next ones. But all you'll notice is there is a preview button here. And when you press that and then click anywhere, as soon as it starts loading, it will go full screen. So here's our weather that drops in, and you'll notice that our crawler continues to crawl across the bottom as those next pages come into the scene. And you'll also notice that our events and our news will continue to scroll as well. Great. And now press Escape, and you should be able to see your window again where you can close out of the preview, and now you're back in your dashboard. So keep in mind, this shared background is one of the most powerful tools because not only can you use it to create templates like this, but anything that you need some continuity with can save you some time. So you didn't need to create the entire background. So you can just simply drop in the apps into one of the zones, drop them in a playlist, and you're good to go. Now, in one of the future, in the playlists video that we'll create, we'll show you how to schedule each of these slides. So if you have a menu background, say for example, you could schedule different menus that share the same background to show up at certain times. So for example, breakfast and lunch. The other apps that you can use within this shared background environment, don't forget you can use slideshows or anything that has a constant rotating of information is perfect in this shared background template. We'll catch you next time. We'll go through playlists, and good luck to you.